All right, guys. So let's get right to our stock of the week. Okay. It's an interesting story. It's a great story because it's got a little thesis behind the trade, right? It's got a good idea for the trade. It's got a nice chart. It doesn't fit into our criteria with the dividends and stuff, but it's a great story stock and it's got some nice side stories with it. The thing is, I warned you guys, it might be a little controversial to some people. It actually is gun related. So remember what I tell you guys, your money has no ideologies. Your money has no loyalty, except it either grows or it doesn't. Um, so let's take a look at this. Now, if it's not your cup of tea, I get it. Now, we're also going to give you a free option play on it. And we played this little option in our live room with some of our members as a side play. You're welcome to join along with us. Remember, the last one we shared with you was the VIX trade, doubled overnight. Past performance is no indicator of future performance, right, guys? So don't base buying this pick on what happened with the last pick. You look at each trade individually and you analyze it like that. So without further ado, guys, let's get into our stock. Now, like I said, it's a gun related stock. It's ammunition. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Our stock of the week is VSTO Outdoor. Now, VSTO Outdoor is an ammunition stock. It's got a little bit different things going on besides that, but ammunition is the main concern. And that's the thesis behind this. There is a huge ammunition shortage. There is a huge buying fever for ammunition right now. There's a particular set of ammunition that hasn't been on the market for a long time that this company solved. So let's start by looking at the chart. Let's start with the technicals, okay? Let me share a chart with you guys. You can see this is a year chart. Great looking chart, right? After a long base there from August to about the end of the year, right? Last year, then it started getting a little dicey, right? Remember, what did we have? We had an administration change, right? We went from an administration that was pro-guns to an administration that was anti-guns. And so people get paranoid. They get scared. The gun owners get scared. And so what do? They start stocking up. They think you're not going to be able to buy it, especially ammunition, right? What's the use of a gun if it's got no bullets? Okay. So you can see the chart started getting a little bit bouncy there at the end of the year, and then it set another base and then made an all-time high there. And then it went back into a little bit of sideways motion, but see, it made a nice double bottom there, came right back over that moving average. You just had a nice divergence on your MACD, and your RSI is starting to get nice and perky. So technically, we like this stock right now. We like it for a move to the all-time high. It's also a stock we'd probably want to keep in the portfolio for a little while because it's a great story. There's a little bit more behind this story too, guys. Let me share it with you. So everybody knows the story about Remington, right? Remington went bankrupt, right? And what happened in the process was their ammunition plant was shut down, right? Mismanagement, companies bankrupt and all that stuff. VSTO Outdoor went in and bought the plant and they're managing it and they've got it reopened. There's a huge demand for Remington ammunition and they have brought it back to the market. That's one part of the story. The other part of the story is, of course, the paranoia created by the current administration, right? Whether it's real or not, the minute an administration like this takes control, people assume that guns are going to get restricted and ammunition and things like that. What's the easiest way to take guns off the street? Don't make bullets, right? Everybody can have a gun, but ain't nobody can fire it. So people get paranoid and they start stockpiling ammunition. Well, these Remington aficionados haven't been able to buy ammunition for a while. So on top of the other product that VSTO has, guess what? You can add in Remington. So there's a lot of good things happening for this company. Now they've got earnings coming up the second week of May. So what we did was we went in and we bought some contracts, and I'm going to share that with you, and I'll post it in the comments too, which contracts we bought. Let me just make sure that I give you the right date and stuff here. just checking my screen. Now, what we did was on VSTO, we bought some calls. We bought the 521 expiration $40 calls, and we paid maybe about 65, 70 cents for those. And we'll ride those into earnings. Generally, stocks right before earnings get a nice little earnings run. Some people say there's a 10-day earnings run. Some people say there's a 20, but there's usually on a good stock with some kind of potential to move into earnings. We're going to try and capitalize on that. Plus, do the media, right? You've got a lot of things happening in the country where this whole gun debate is just exploding. What does that do? Well, your gun owners that are looking for ammunition, more paranoia, more panic, more buying, right? And that's what we want. We're looking for revenue. So we think they'll have some good earnings, especially with the addition of this Remington plant and stuff like that. And it's a very well-managed company. It's a profitable company. It's a company that's been very, very good in managing its business. So look, guys, we're going to buy a little bit of the stock, but for maybe a midterm, I think on this one, because it doesn't have dividends, we'll look for a midterm play on this one. If we can get a move above that all-time high and then see how the stock acts at that point, we'll see. But other than that, your free play from us is those VSTO options, the $40 calls. And 521 expiration. Now we paid, like I said, we paid anywhere around 65, 70 cents for those contracts this morning. And you're welcome to play along. Now remember on these, this is caveat emptor, my friends. If you play this play, you play it at your own risk. You manage your own trade, okay? If it goes profitable, pull the trigger. Nobody ever lost money taking a profit. And we will not cover this after this unless once it resolves, we'll talk about the result. Okay. But it's a lot of fun, right? We had accounts where we just bought one contract. What is that? Maybe $70, right? Have some fun with it. It's a good way to practice. It's a good way to practice trading your options and things like that. But like I said, we'll buy some of the stock as maybe a medium term play because it doesn't pay dividends. So once the story loses fire, and once we get to a certain point where the stock looks like it's going to stop accelerating, we'll take profits. And we'll talk about that when we do, okay, guys, on these kind of on the stock of the week. But have some fun with the option play, guys. Hopefully, we're all like that VIX play the next day or two. We're talking about cashing in for some nice profits. But take a look at Vista Outdoor. Now, remember what I tell you. I know guns are a really, really sensitive subject right now. And it's there's people on one side of the fence, there's people on the other side of the fence, and they are convinced they are right. Your money is not on either side of the fence. So if it's a good opportunity to make some money, why not, right? Anyways, guys, look, and then if it's not your cup of tea, just skip it. We'll have another stock of the week next week. And we got some great ones from the other weeks, right? I wanted to kind of mention that, right? ET is having a nice day today. That was one of our stock of the weeks, but really the superstar out of all those. And don't forget, we featured Apple as a stock of the week a few weeks ago at 119. That thing's at 134, 135 now. Plus, it's about to pay you another dividend right after these earnings. Can't beat that with a stick. Anyways, guys, like always, invest smart, invest, build wealth. Don't day trade, don't short-term trade. Have a thesis behind it, just like with the Vista Outdoor. This is normally not something that we look at. You guys know our style with our trade, what we look for stocks, but it had a great story, it had a great chart, and it presented an opportunity, and we're willing to capitalize on that. All right. So look, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the morning update. Enjoy today's stock of the week. If you do tag along on that little option play we're fiddling around with, good luck. Don't forget that once you enter that trade, you manage it, okay? If you get a profit you like, take it. If it starts to go the wrong way and you want to tap it out, okay, guys? But manage it on your own, okay? And as a last little reminder, past performance is no indicator of future performance. So don't base this trade on the VIX trade. Okay. You base this trade on whether you think it's going to win and whether you think it's a good trade. Okay. Every trade has its own bubble. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Thursday morning report. Let's see how this market shakes out.